Somewhere in the Mediterranean, a ship the size of a naval vessel sits anchored off a coastline with no name on any map. No tracking signal, no crew visible on deck, no record it was ever there. That ship belongs to someone you will never hear about, and that's exactly how they want it. This is the world of the 0.001%. When money reaches a certain level, it stops being shown off. It disappears. Private islands, ghost yachts, art collections locked away in temperature-controlled storage, never seen by anyone. These aren't status symbols. They're tools of control, hidden behind fake companies, legal structures, and countries specifically chosen because they don't ask questions. Think about what it actually takes to own an island secretly. The property isn't registered under a real name. It's registered to a company. That company is owned by another company, and that company sits inside a legal structure managed by a law firm in a country where no one is allowed to talk. The real owner is at the end of a chain so long and so deliberately confusing that even trained investigators struggle to find them. And that's exactly the point. The same thing applies to art. You might imagine expensive paintings hanging on the walls of a private mansion, lit up beautifully, shown off to guests at fancy dinner parties. But that's not how it works anymore. Today, the most valuable privately owned art often sits in giant storage facilities in places like Geneva, Singapore, or Luxembourg, tax-friendly zones where nothing has to be declared, paintings worth hundreds of millions, just sitting in a box, never displayed, never enjoyed, just kept. Because at this level, owning something isn't about enjoying it, it's about having power over it. Art is used like money, like a secret bank account that no government can easily touch. And then there are the yachts, not the ones you see photographed in Monaco during the summer. Those belong to people who still want to be noticed. The real ones are completely different. They're called ghost yachts, and they are exactly what that sounds like. No tracking signal, no public records, no photos, no press, no social media. They move quietly between locations, stopping in remote places where almost no one is watching. The crew, sometimes dozens of people, all sign agreements so detailed they cover not just the boat, but the guests, the routes, the conversations, even the food, everything covered, legally locked. Some of these boats are bigger than military ships. They have their own hospitals, private cinemas, helicopter pads, and full security teams on board, built in private shipyards under fake project names, delivered quietly, and then gone off the map on purpose. Because at this level, being seen isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Staying invisible at that scale doesn't happen by accident. It takes an entire industry working behind the scenes. And that industry starts with the firms nobody knows exist. No website, no phone number you can find, no office you could walk into. You get access through someone who already has access. And even then, you go through a vetting process that feels more like a government background check than a service sign-up. These firms hire former intelligence officers, people who used to work for governments, ex-military logistics experts, individuals who spent their careers understanding how systems work and who now use that knowledge for one single purpose, making their clients' lives completely smooth. A private museum, cleared of all staff, opened for one person alone at midnight. Done. A flight across 3 countries with no passport check anywhere. Not illegal, just arranged through the right connections in the right places. Sushi from a specific restaurant in Tokyo, needed tonight in London. A private jet handles the trip. A courier handles the last part, and it shows up warm. But here's where it gets genuinely strange. A lot of the problems these firms solve aren't even real problems. They're things that might happen, situations that probably won't occur, but that get handled in advance anyway, because uncertainty itself is the enemy. If there's even a small chance a hotel room might not be good enough, 3 hotels are booked at the same time, whole floors blocked off, and a final decision is made at the last second. If a meeting might run late, a second private plane sits waiting at a nearby airport, just in case. If a child might get sick on vacation, a specialist doctor travels with the family, not as a backup plan, but as a normal part of the trip. This is a life built to eliminate the very idea of things going wrong. And over time, that changes a person in ways that are hard to explain, because wanting something only feels good when there's a chance you might not get it. When everything is always available, that feeling of satisfaction just stops showing up. These people don't stop wanting things, they just stop feeling anything when they get them. But here's the part nobody talks about. All of that control, the hidden assets, the private firms, the engineered life, it doesn't come free. And the cost isn't just money. At this level of wealth, privacy isn't a preference, it's a necessity. The more you have, the more people want a piece of it. Not just criminals, but lawyers, journalists, governments, and anyone who sees an opportunity. So these people build walls, real ones. A single security team for one person for 1 year can easily cost over $1 million. For the biggest names, tens of millions. And these aren't just bodyguards, former soldiers, cybersecurity experts, analysts whose only job is to spot problems before they happen. Their homes aren't just homes anymore. They're fortresses, safe rooms that can support a family for months without any outside help. Air systems that filter out chemical threats, private communication lines that run completely outside of any public network. Backup power that works entirely off the grid. Every single person allowed into that environment, the private chef, the gardener, the person who manages the art, has been through a background check more detailed than most government security clearances. Their finances, their relationships, their entire history, all of it examined and watched on an ongoing basis. Even the trash is handled carefully. Documents aren't just shredded. Shredding leaves pieces. They are burned completely by specialist companies hired specifically for that job. Because a thrown-away envelope with the right postmark could give away a location. A torn piece of paper could expose a deal. Nothing leaves without being cleared first. Travel is planned like a military operation, routes decided weeks ahead, fake vehicles and fake schedules used regularly. Even their own staff often don't know the real plan until the last moment. Because the most dangerous piece of information is knowing exactly where someone will be at a specific time. And online, personal messages sent through private encrypted systems, emails routed through secure servers in other countries, personal information deliberately spread across different systems so that even if someone breaks into one, they can never get the full picture. You could be standing right next to one of these people and have absolutely no idea. Nothing would stand out. And that invisibility isn't just a side effect, it's the entire goal. From the outside, this life looks like the ultimate version of freedom. Unlimited money, unlimited access, every door open, every problem gone before you even notice it. But look at what's actually there. Every move planned by someone else, every interaction filtered, every relationship carrying a question mark. Because when you have everything, you always have to wonder what the people around you actually want. Spontaneity is gone. The ability to just walk out of a door without a coordinated security response, gone. The simple experience of wanting something and not knowing if you'll get it, gone. The private island stops being an escape and starts being a fortress you happen to live in. The yacht stops being an adventure and becomes the most controlled space you've ever been in. The concierge doesn't just make life easier, it slowly takes over the parts of life that used to require you to actually be present. And the security is always there, always. A constant reminder that your world is not the same as everyone else's, that you can never just be a regular person walking around unguarded. So is this the ultimate success, or is it something much more complicated? A life where every comfort comes with a hidden cost, where freedom exists on paper but disappears in practice, and where having everything slowly starts to feel like being trapped by everything. At the level of the 0.001%, money doesn't just buy freedom, it rewrites what freedom means. And sometimes, slowly, quietly, completely, it takes it away. If that thought stayed with you longer than you expected, that's exactly why Vantage Files exists. Subscribe, and every week we'll take you somewhere most people will never get to go. We'll see you in the next one.